Good afternoon, Adam here at Board at Home. In today's review video, which is in place of our usual weekly unboxing video, we're going to take a look at Holmes. It's a two-player worker placement game in which you are collecting clues to ultimately solve the case. So initially, before I first played this game, I thought it was a kind of social deduction game, opened it up, and we've got ourselves a lovely little Euro game here. So I'll just go through the components with you and then give you my rundown of the game. So first up, we have got the Diary of Dr. Watson. This is actually our game board, where we have our various characters as well as the days of the week where our other characters will go. We've got our rules, fairly simple, not a lot to it, and there's a lot of player aid in here as well. Last page with some optional rules as well, and an example of the gameplay. And then our components, not a load here, so we'll quickly run through these. So we've got our characters themselves, these are the optional ones which we will discuss, and then we've got our 3 starting characters which are double-sided, and the rest of our characters as well there, all with their various actions that you can perform. And finally we have our clue cards. So these are ultimately what we're collecting by visiting the different characters each day. Okay. And then we have our investigation markers. These are quite important in obtaining the clue cards, and our workers, which we place around the boards to be able to perform the various actions. So that is everything in the box. So this is a game that I've been playing a lot of recently. It's a great 2-player game, something which some of the bigger games sometimes falter on. So it's nice that you get these exclusive 2-player games which are designed specifically for that 2-player experience. It means then you don't feel that sometimes you're playing a compromised version of the original game. So, as I was saying before, the worker placement aspect is one of the main components of this. The others being set collection, in which we are collecting sets of these cards, and resource management, because we are having to manage where these guys go, as well as our sets of cards, which can change from time to time. People can steal your cards, you can change them over. What I really like is that it's a great introduction to Eurogames. Eurogames sometimes have this perception that they're big, heavy-duty, really hard-going games. And whilst it is true for a lot of them, if you think of things like the Uwe Rosenberg games, for example, such as Fields of Arle or Feast of Odin, for example, they are massive, humongous games that have got a lot going for them. But that's more a design choice than a representation of the Eurogame. This has probably got more in common with something like Ticket to Ride or Carcassonne, where it's a nice entry level into the genre, giving you classic mechanics such as the worker placement and set collection. If you've played Ticket to Ride before, then this part will be very familiar. We're collecting sets of the same colour and same number, and then we're using those to score points at the end. Obviously, Ticket to Ride, we're using them to set routes, but it's a similar kind of thing there. Now, the characters, we've got quite a variety of characters. So let's just go through these for you. And each character has a symbol beneath them that will tell you what they do. The book does a great job explaining to you exactly what they do. But after a while, you'll then start to pick up exactly what they do. So like this one, for example, you take a card from your collection of cards, you minus the day that you're on from the value of the card to give you that many investigation tokens, for example. Or here, you take one card from the face-up pile, and your opponent may spend 1 investigation marker to get a hidden card from the top of the deck of cards. So they're relatively straightforward. What I like with this is that you don't see everything in every game, so it will always be one card out of all of these that won't be seen. if you want to vary it up from these, because I said there's not, after a while, there's not a lot of variety from that, you can add these cards in. So this one here is a nice rule where whoever's the second player starts with the cards. So say Mycroft was the second player. This allows you to reserve a card from the face-up cards in front of you, and you basically set that aside as a card that you'll want to use, which you can then obtain next time you have an action that allows you to take a card. And then the reverse is true for Sherlock. And then these two are like one-offs. So they have abilities that hinder both of you. So sort of playing into the villainous aspect there. I would recommend playing with all of these in the game. It just sort of livens the game up, and I feel that this is how the game is supposed to be played. I would play with these maybe for your first 1 or 2 games just to get used to it. But once you've gotten used to it, I wouldn't play the game without these extra bits. It just adds a little level of randomness with regards to these two. You know, they're going to upset the investigation for both of you, which is going to hinder your choices for that round. And this is just a nice one, which allows you a little bit more control maybe over some of the cards. Allows you to secure a card that an opponent might otherwise take from you, or if they're doing an action that allows them to reset the face-up cards, for example. So that's a nice little kind of tactical inclusion. I would like, if Thames and Kosmos do watch this video, I think it would be great if we could get maybe like an add-on pack for this with just some other characters that we could chuck in from the Holmes fictional books there. Just some extra characters, just so that we can kind of spice it up a little bit, so we're not just seeing the same 8 or 9 people in every game. Okay, so finally the quality of the components. So the cards have this nice kind of woven linen texture to them, so they just feel nice in your hand. They feel a bit more sturdy, a bit more durable than other cards. Our meeples are exactly what we've come to expect of meeples. Nice, brightly coloured little wooden people, so that's on par as normal. And then our investigation tokens. Now these are just little cards tokens, but they are fairly sturdy and they're very clear, so you're not going to get them mixed up or get them lost in anything, so I do like them. And finally the board, aesthetically I really like it. We've kind of got this like journal, and then inside very clear layout, which means that your setup's going to be nice and clear as well. And the board is nice and durable, so it's going to last you for quite a few games. So that is everything in the box there. It's a fantastic introduction to Eurogames as a genre, so if you've not really gotten into them before, or you want to get into them or rediscover them, I think Holmes will be a fantastic place for you to do that. Absolutely great game, love it. I'd give it sort of 8, 9 out of 10. That's all guys, we'll see you in the boardroom.